Hello and welcome. Michael here. In this video, I want to take just a few minutes to go over my processes in fulfillment and why it should matter to you. What I mean is, I get you're busy. As a business owner, perhaps you wear multiple hats, or maybe just one, but you run multiple businesses and you're quite productive and busy. And then you turn over here to get business funding and you get help from a broker like myself, and you're expecting perhaps quick information being sent back to you. Perhaps we already spoke, and you're underneath that assumption if I didn't break it down for you how my processes work. And it's very important that I put myself in your shoes, which I do a lot of the time. And I hope it can be reciprocated, that you can do that similarly. And if you don't know my processes, I can understand why perhaps you're maybe feeling a bit impatient on getting a response back, or there's another form of communication that just hasn't happened. And I was a bit reluctant to make this video just because I didn't think it had to be said in the very beginning. But now it makes more sense to me as I've been doing this for a longer time and my processes are a bit different from other brokers, agents. And mine are very punctual. I'm very disciplined. It's very energy and time efficient. And you're going to get exceptional information if you just give it a little bit of this patience, stay open-minded and be open-minded. And then three, allow to give feedback when it is asked for. It's most important. So, what are my processes? What happens when we have initial contact or even before any of that? I had a sketch pad over here. It's right there. I might refer to it or revert to it, but let's begin here. And so a lot of individuals, they'll come to me, let's just say client, I build that relationship up with you and it's very ethical based and trustworthy. I will never give you the runaround or act like I'm being fake just to get something out of it. That's not who I am. I'm an introvert already. And so if you know introverts, you know how difficult it can be to open up. And I have ambiverted, extroverted qualities when I need to. So it just depends on how much you feel like opening up. But I have built such great personal connections and relationships with people as well as in business. And so a lot of the times we may be communicating and your expectation. So let me put expectation here is always a phone call, quick emails, quick text messages, quick appointments, quick direct messages. It goes on and on, right? And there's a place and time for this to say, yeah, it makes sense. It's time sensitive. We set up a meeting at this time. I should be there. And then I want to say this. Yes, you can set up an appointment and things like that. A lot of the time, and I'll show you how the process works. And a lot of the times I'll maybe say, hey, I can't make it. Can we reschedule? It's not as often as it used to be, but I have a lot of projects. You probably run multiple businesses, and so you can understand how quite busy or productive you are. And I'm not a receptionist. I'm not just working with 100 people in a call center, or I'm working for a Fortune 5,000 company, for 500 company. It's just me for the time being, and that's how I would like to keep it for now. And by the time you're watching this, perhaps I already have a few VAs and doing other parts of it, like I have in my other businesses to a degree. But for now, the way that I enjoy doing this and the way you get the fulfillment part is because I'm able to show you your options. Nobody else can do it the way that I do or do it at all. So it makes sense to just, I got you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. And then sometimes I'll say I might not be able to make the appointment. And I apologize that I didn't tell you ahead of time because I got so caught up in a project or a couple of them that were very time sensitive and a few individuals that I needed to help collect documentation, do a few things that stretched out. So I couldn't get back to you. And then it was something else with a lender and underwriter. These things kind of happen. So please adjust with me and don't be upset if things like this happen. It's normal. And if you're getting it from the best, that's what's going to happen. And so I know we're a few minutes over, like I said, a few minutes in the beginning, but just hang in here with me. My process is, so we make initial contact, and my initial contact, I would love it to be my questionnaire. I think I have it open on another screen. I think it's right. No, it's not that one. See if I can open up a new tab over here. So perhaps you've already gone through this or have at least seen it And if you're waiting for a response from me, I will get back to you soon. And that's what I'm going to answer in a second, how I do these things. So I would prefer you go through that questionnaire form to begin. A lot of people, they like to send me an email and then I'll have a conversation with them. I'll have a chat. And then in that one email, a lot of the times, I'll send you a link to that questionnaire or a real estate questionnaire, whichever one makes the most sense, whatever material I have to give you or extra material. And it's better that way. So we're not having to ping back and forth. You don't want to have to keep going back and forth email after email. And the third, second, fourth email, I'm then sending you a link. I can understand that if the conversation goes in a different direction, but a lot of the times I'll send you this initial contact of a questionnaire form. And again, it'll look something like this. And I may have you may have already watched the video on how this works, or not. There might be one that comes up, but if not, it's okay. And so you can select from these options. If you're a non-startup, you do that. It might look different over time. Here is the form. Fill that out. You can literally get done with it in less than a minute. You can give me some estimates there, but if you can be as precise, better. But if it's an estimate on a few things, okay. But just give me accurate information. That way I can give you a ballpark range. I can pre-underwrite a file without even having to collect bank statements already. And that's another second. Once we get to the right type of lender service, then I'll let you know what type of documentation, how it needs to be sent to me, or where it can be uploaded to our portal, et cetera, where we can see it on our back end. There are different ways of approaching this. And so back to this process, the initial contact, it might have been before the questionnaire. We might have had a few chats. Maybe you called me, and I don't always just pick up out of the blue phone calls unless I know who it's from and I already know the client's part of their details. And I get it that we can start a conversation over the phone and develop it and then get it into a business part to make sense logically. But you know, a lot of the times I'm busy and I have to be most effective with my energy and time. And so I hope you can understand that I can't just be on a call after call after call 20 times a day or more because I get a lot of people coming to me. So it's most effective. And this is actually the best and fastest way to do this is filling out that questionnaire form. And yes, you might get a six-step pre-approval lending checklist, excuse me, separately, but it comes with this as well as a few other things if I update it over time. And then what happens is I will then get an email that with your questionnaire, and then from there, I will then evaluate it and analyze your fundability details. And then from there, I can give you an email response back. Email response for your best funding option or options. Thoroughly broken down like nobody else. And it's so energy and time efficient. At this second, I'm actually getting a lot of emails back from people that have already sent their questionnaire form. They're just responding back saying, hey, Michael, I've weighed my options. I've spoken with somebody here, or I think this is what I would like to do. I understand how it works. Let's get started. And then a lot of the time you can get the application like right then and there, and I'll show you and I'll tell you what I need or how this needs to be fulfilled and how you need to approach this. So it's in your best interest to make sure you take some time to read it. There'll be some video content in there as well. Other times I don't get back to your email right away, your email response. So I'll probably send you a text or a call in time being if there's something not quite right or I need to gather more information. And it's best for me to do it this way again because I get a lot of submissions and I don't want to be spending a lot of time on phone calls when I should be spending it over here. And I always limit that. And there's times where it makes sense to do it more. So from there, you get you get the email response back where I put everything in this. It can be a very long email, it can be shorter, just depends on your information. And you'll be shown whether you can qualify for this or not. You'll still be shown those options. So at least you have a better idea. You're not questioning what's the best you should be doing, what's the right roadmap. And so once that is there, then you can get started, right? You get started, simple. And if you have more questions, you can reply back to that email. There's something more you wanted to discuss with me. You're like, well, it's better that I do this over a phone. Can we do that? And there's a time and a place where I'll say, yes, it makes sense. Other times it's like, I'm going to devote too much energy and time to this. I get it. I want to hear your emotional side. I love it, what you're trying to do. I get that. I connect with it. But at the same time, this might not even go anywhere. A lot of people, they just want to submit something sometimes and then they just go ghost. I can't be doing this if that's going to be happening all the time. Even with people who I've built a strong personal and business relationship with, it's a character flaw. A lot of people, they say something and they do another, or they think they're going to commit, but then they don't. And so there's another section, if you haven't come across it yet, where I'll speak about your characteristics and how that applies to your businesses or business. So from there, you get started. And then over here, then I follow up with you in the underwriting, right? Underwriting. And then if I need more documents, if necessary, not always, I'll ask for them. And then final underwriting when it comes to everything. And then I'll perhaps show you the offer or how it all looks and everything, and then what the expectations are. Sometimes it's an email or it's via a text message. I'll send you it, or it can be on a quick phone call, pressure free. But this is how my processes work. Sometimes, like actually, I should say a little bit more nowadays, because in the beginning I wasn't as flooded. People expect me to get back to them within the same day. Let's put it over here. The initial contact questionnaire, you fill that out. A lot of the times I'll let you know, I'll get back to you as soon as possible because I'm flooded. Sometimes I'll tell you that. Other times I may have not. But be respectful and not too patient, but be patient enough for me to get back to you, because it may take, before I used to do it in the same day. Now it's like 1 to 2 perhaps. And then get this, my catch-up days are Fridays and Saturdays. So I get to work on Fridays and Saturdays on these questionnaires, responding back to emails, doing more administrative tasks. A lot of people think I'm just sitting behind a computer doing administrative work, answering all these emails when I wake up in the morning. I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm putting everything on my calendar here the night before or the day of. I just have already a great idea of what I'm doing. And then I follow through with my activities that are going to produce to me the return on my investment activity-wise. And then secondly, if it's financially, that's okay. But I first want to care about you. The money doesn't really, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter, because we're in business, but it's less of a factor. It's like down here compared to the value that I want to give you. And that's what I care about most, is you as a human, first and foremost, that you're taking care of, and the value you're getting, the education. As this is a result, whatever I earn or whatever, I don't, pay a lot of attention to, honestly. It's just I care about you and delivering you the value, and I care about you as a human being, honestly. So just be, a bit patient with me. And then sometimes it comes to Monday, and then there's a certain circumstance where it has to be done that way because something happened, but I'll get back to you. And a lot of people, no, I want the answer now. And then sometimes in the meantime, you may be getting sequenced emails, perhaps broadcasted emails on that day from me, because you're a part of my email sequence. So sometimes you'll get, hey, did you get my email or something like that? I'll tell you if you did or if you did not. And you can sometimes ignore it if we already spoke. And they're sequenced emails to give you education. Don't think of these emails that you're getting dripped out from me like every 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 4 to 5+ days are necessarily a bad. You're hearing from me and getting an education on. Even if you've already started an application somewhere, I probably will segment you into that and cancel that off, or leave it open because it makes sense to you. And I'll let you know a lot of the time these things. And if I don't, it's okay. I'll get back to you. But my processes are unlike anybody else, like I've said, where it's very energy and time efficient. I'm not a salesman. I grew up in the university college system, and getting on calls and doing all of that, I just, what salespeople were doing, I'm not like that. I guess you can consider that I've learned marketing skills that I've been able to apply to previous businesses as a digital marketing agency, affiliate marketing, etc. But what I take from there, I've learned, and then I got into the broker field, and this is what I wanted to do for a very long time, and have gone full speed on it, and I understand it like nobody else's business as an expert, and I'm always in the market and understanding what's happening, the lenders, the underwriters, etc. And so sometimes this process may be a little bit different. It may be initial contact on an email text. It might not even have to be an email questionnaire. You probably already came in and you filled out an application, which you did so rightly. You've probably went through a blog post, video, and I told you, yeah, it's the best thing to do, and continue forward is what we'll expect. And sometimes I'll say, yeah, do this, and you might want to see a broader way of getting other options or seeing what else is out there. So I'll send you a questionnaire in the meantime. But it doesn't always make sense to do that. So it can change a little bit of the process, but I would appreciate you if you go in through that questionnaire form as I've shown you earlier. And you can even get started on the thank you page right then and there, or wait from me, but it's right there for you to get started. And I will evaluate and analyze your answers and give you a pre-underwritten file. And if you were to send me bank statements right there, it's okay. There's ways of doing this. If I need tax returns to submit to a lender, I'll tell you if I need it or not for certain services. But yeah, don't be impatient. I will be here for you if I don't pick up phone calls out of the blue. But if we've spoken before and it's something like, hey, I know I have you in my caller ID, I have your name and everything, so I know who's calling me for the most part. Quick emails, you can send me a quick text if you have my mobile number, etc. Quick appointments, sometimes they happen, sometimes they have to get rescheduled in other circumstances. Quick direct messages. Um, so my way of doing it, it's very energy efficient, and I understand time sensitivity. And if that makes sense, I will get yours done. And what helps is being responsive. If you're responsive, that goes a longer ways, and it shows me, yeah, you really do really care. It's not you just submitted a questionnaire and just kind of went away. You don't have to do that all the time, but it just shows that effort, and you get moved even higher to the top of the pile from where you already were. And a lot of people are submitting this. Keep in mind, and you can get started right then and there from the email. If there's anything else you need me to clarify or discuss, and if it needs another email, text, or a phone call quickly, then I can get on that and address it. Other circumstances from the beginning, it might need a phone call for the questionnaire just so I can hear more and tell me more. But it doesn't always make sense to do that for each individual. So that's a bit of my process. I know there's a little bit more, but I fulfill all this, and I will show you the best funding option and options thoroughly broken down. Now, I know we spent quite a bit of time. I know I said only a few minutes in the beginning. I apologize for doing that. And hopefully you got value out of this video. If you're in this course, please continue to the next one, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.